What is good? Fuck, good. Everyone. Shoobs here. This is so scuffed. What is good, everyone? Shoobs here. We got a bit of a different build video today. We aren't really building a keyboard, but instead modding a controller, but with keyboard switches. So I've been really getting into fighting games lately, especially Guilty Gear Strive. For
二人で戦えばわかる?
For reasons. Bachoo and I have been playing together, and by playing I mean getting my ass handed to me 40 times in a row, but hey, losing is part of getting better, right? Right?
おい、どこ見てんの? ビビったのか?
That is
But recently I picked up this relatively cheap fight stick, the Mayflash F101, but after using it for a bit, I basically hated everything about this stick. The movement felt weird to get used to, and my wrists hurt from moving the stick around, and overall it just felt terrible to use. Also, it's very creaky and it sounds terrible. I know, before any of you pro fighting game players start roasting me in the comments, I admit it is indeed a skill issue, but as a long-time PC gamer, I'm just too used to playing with my keyboard. Honestly, I thought all hope was lost. Maybe I wasn't meant to play this genre. Maybe the sins of only starting Guilty Gear just cause I wanted to stare at Jacko was really catching up to me. However, like a sign from the fighting game gods, I learned about a special controller known as the hitbox, or the hitbox layout for controllers, which involved buttons for the movement. It's exactly like a keyboard but as a controller for fighting games, something that was perfect for me. So I put in a order for one, and it was pretty damn pricey, but honestly, my sense of pricing is already screwed beyond saving from my involvement with custom keyboards, so I didn't really think it was that bad. Man, imagine spending like $200 and thinking, hey, that's not too bad. God, I'm screwed in the head. However, with my addiction to keyboard building and customization, I quickly became aware of the modding potential of a fighting game controller. I did a lot of research and was quite surprised to learn that the keyboard hobby and the controller hobby had extremely similar parallels, ranging from the different types of buttons, PCBs, cases, and the very dedicated modding and custom community as well. Also, the number of weebs in the fighting game community was wild too. I really felt like I belonged in the right place. Through my various research and introduction into this new peripheral realm, I found something that really piqued my interest. This right here are crown buttons for your controller, and they have Cherry MX switches in them. Oh shit, you guys probably already know what's going to happen. Not only does this button use Cherry MX switches, it's actually compatible with any MX style switch, meaning that I have all the power to make this shit bang. So today we will be customizing my brand new hitbox with some custom buttons and some custom switches. This is actually my first time modding a controller like this, so don't think of this as a tutorial or anything, cause I will honestly be learning the ropes while I'm filming this video. So before we start breaking everything down and start modding, let's talk about the switches we will be using. I want this controller to be quick with the inputs and also sound nice and deep. You guys probably know what this switch is if you watch my videos, but today we're going to be going with my favorite switches with a quick bottom out, the Black Cherry Pie. If you're new to my channel, this is a Franken switch, meaning it's a switch made from parts of different switches. The Black Cherry Pie's anatomy is made up of a cherry top, JWK nylon bottom, and a cream stem, or you can use any kale long pole stem. For the spring on these bad boys, since we are trying to make it bottom out quickly without much resistance, we'll be putting some 35-gram springs in them. These have also been lubed with Krytox 205 Grade 0 and filmed with Deskies, so I'm quite excited to see how they will sound and feel in the controller. So with all the switches ready, let's start the process of actually modding this thing. Fuck. How the fuck do I get rid of this? Fuck. It's like I'm destroying this thing. Oh my god, these don't have pins. These don't have pins. Fuck. Alright. This is actually a pain in the ass. Ah! How do I do this? Oh, it worked. Okay, finally we have all the buttons ready. That took way longer than I anticipated. Holy shit, my fingers are like bleeding right now, goddamn. But let's open up the controller now and change out the buttons and finish up the build.
Without a clue, without a sign, without grasping yet, the real question to be asked.
Actually, taking a closer look at the internals of the controller, honestly, it's a lot simpler than I thought. Each of these buttons are connected to these wires, and they just disconnect and reconnect. It's like a hot swap sort of method. You can switch out the buttons quite easily.
Moments of calm, nothing to be found. A mirror in front of me is where I find an empty glass, reflecting there's a truth. It's everything what's up to be told. I need the mask. I'm a shapeshifter, Apple's masquerade, hiding both face and
Alright, finally, we have the custom buttons with the Black Cherry Pies installed. Looking pretty damn sick if I do say so myself. I should get some custom weeb art to put behind the acrylic plate. I think that would really tie it all together. I don't know why I didn't do that. But I really like how the translucent button looks quite a bit, so let's see how these custom buttons with the custom switches sound compared to the stock Sanwa switches. Well, that was pretty fun. It was actually quite refreshing to build something other than a keyboard while still using some keyboard parts. Honestly, I think I spent a little too much on this project and controller, even though I suck real bad at fighting games. But hey, at least I can drown out the cries of my defeats with some very nice sounding and feeling buttons. And with that, I'll be going to go play some exhilarating matches of Guilty Gear.
あーやこれ好きこれください